Hello everyone and welcome to my corner of the world. Today I'm going to share with you an embossed resist technique, and this is the card I'm going to show you how I made. And I'm going to be using one of the newer products that Stampin' Up! Have recently bought out, and that's a blending brush. And when I first saw them in the packet, I thought that they were like sponge. But when you look at them really closely, there's actually thousands and thousands of very fine little bristles. And they come in a packet of 3, and you get 3 for $12, which I think is a really good deal. And this is one that I used when I made my sample, and it's a little bit easier to actually see how the bristles are. And I find that you can use them, and you can remove the excess ink by using one of these. I'm not quite sure what you call them, but anyway, this type of cloth. And if you go from light colours to your darker colours, you can use the same one sort of over and over. But I've actually washed this one a couple of times. I run it under the tap, and then just blot it with my cloth like this, and then leave it overnight, and it comes up clean. So anyway, this is what we're gonna use for our project today. I'm also going to be using the Enjoy the Moment stamp set, which again is another new stamp set. Again, I love these images. I think these images would be go really well for a guide type card. And I have made another one. This one is using more neutral colors with pink. Which I quite like the effect of that one as well. So let's go give it a start. So I'm going to start by doing the Emboss Resist. And by that is I'm using a piece of white card and stamping the image and embossing it with clear embossing powder, and then using the ink to sort of bring the whiteness through. So let's give it a go. So I'm going to be using this large sort of, I think it's like a poppy pod. I think that's what it is. And I'm going to use my Versamark. So Versamark is a clear ink, and it's real sticky. So it does pick up nicely for the embossing powder. And I'm going to add it to my piece of cardstock. And then I've got my clear embossing powder over here, and I keep it in this little container because it means I haven't got to worry about feeding it back into the pot, and it's easy to put the excess back in. The other little stamp I'm going to use is this one. It's like little seeds, and I'm just going to dot them randomly around. The reason I put my embossing powder on first is so I could see where my first stamp was, so I don't go put my little seeds over my seed head. But you can do it all in one go if you can see it. Okay, just tap gently to get rid of any excess, and then I'm going to use my heat tool to set that. It's going to be a bit noisy. I apologise. Right, so you should be able to see the embossing powder on there. Now I'm going to add the heat, and you should maybe see it actually go clear as it melts, and it goes shiny. I'm just going to go all over my piece of card. Now, normally I wouldn't hold this in my hand because this heat gun, gets very, very hot. I use the end of a little paintbrush or I've got some chopsticks somewhere. I use those when I'm in heat embossing to keep my fingers away from the heat. Just making sure that I've got all my little bits that I've stamped. Whoa. There, I think that's sufficiently cooked, and you should be able to see now that it's actually gone clear and shiny. I'm going to leave that to set just for a few minutes before I take it any further. And I'm going to stamp my my background. There's a cute little pod. I wish I knew what these were, but anyway, a little cute pod. And I'm just going to stamp the background, and I'm doing what's called tone-on-tone stamping, which basically means I'm using the same color card and ink. And so it just kind of gives you a variation of the color. And so I'm just going to pop those, let's see, let's have that one going that way, and then that way. I don't need to do the middle because that's where my embossed piece is going to go. And then I've got my card base. So I'm working with Pear Pizzazz, which is probably my most favorite green. And it looks like I'm running out of adhesive. There we go. So it's my most favorite green, alongside the now what's it called, Mossy Meadow. I knew it would come back to me. So there's that. And then I've got my liner, and so I think I'm just going to stamp my liner with the little pod as well. And while I'm at it, I'm going to do my envelope. There. I think we're good with that. Oh, I'm going to need that open. I don't know why I was putting that away. So now I think that this is going to be sufficiently set to just work on it. You excuse if you can hear Cece. She's having one of her little moans. Probably she's not getting enough attention. So what I'm just doing with my brush is I'm just moving it just gently back and forward over my ink just to pick up enough ink. And then I start off of the piece of cardstock on my paper, and I just bring it up. And I just like to use a circular motion. You'll find that it takes a bit of time to build it up. And I also like to put my finger on the top here. That allows me to have a build up, to have some pressure on the head, just to make it stay on the card. Again, I'm try off. The reason you need to just start off the card is that it stops you having like a blotchy piece of ink on the card. It just gives you a smoother finish. As I say, I'm just using a little circular motion. Oh look, I managed to get ink on my finger and now it's on my card. Well, that was smart. Never mind, we'll carry on, and I may just be able to put my greeting over that bit. But you see, you can get little snafus however experienced you are. I'm just going to be putting some more over here. And you can carry on adding as much ink as you like to build up the depth. But you can see the idea. I'm not going to put much more on at the moment. I might build up more on another one. You can see that with this one, I just put ink on some of it and left some of it uninked. My other one here, again, it's a little bit lighter on the ink here, a little bit darker in other places. But that's the method for doing it. And then when you're done, you just get your cloth back and rub the excess off. Microfiber. I knew it would come to me eventually. This is like a microfiber cloth. And just rub it on there, and you can just see it's taking the excess off. So if I wanted to use this one without washing it, I'd go ahead and use either a darker green, or maybe I would start moving on to the blues while it was with it being that dark. So I'm going to layer this onto a piece of Mossy Meadow. Listen to Cece. I think she thinks that she's being ignored. There we go. And I'm then going to go ahead with my cloth, and I'm going to remove the excess ink from the white part of the card. Can you see? It's all of a sudden it's leapt out the paper at you. Just as I say, because we've removed the excess ink off of the embossing. So really that's the white of the card showing through. We're going to add some dimensionals to the back. One in each corner and one in the middle. I'm also going to add some twine. So this is the braided twine. And you've probably seen me do this lots of times before. And I think I've told you many times before, I like to use sticky tape just to hold my ends down, because I've got this awful fear that if somebody takes it out the envelope and it falls to pieces. So I'm going to use, as I say, some sticky tape, and then I get a bone folder and just give that a good old burnish just to make sure that it stays in place. There we go. And then the backing coming off. And I'm just going to pop it in the middle there. Now my greeting also comes from the same stamp set. I've used Enjoy the Moment here. And I already stamped it and just on a piece of card, and then backed it. And I did use the little sponging brush, the blending brush, to just soften the edges on the card there. And I'm going to attach it to my card. Now look, you see, I'm going to cover up my little mess just there. And so I'm going to put a dimensional there, so that brings everything up to the same level. And on the back of this side, I'm going to just add a little liquid adhesive. And then I'm just going to attach it there. And a couple of final flourishes. I'm going to just put a little knot on the piece of string, so it looks as though I've actually tied a knot. So I call this a faux knot. Attach it with, let's get my, I'm going to attach it with a mini glue dot there. Oop, that slipped down. And then my final little flourish in the very corner there. These are the elegant faceted gems, and there's white ones, and I've used those all up. There's some clear ones, and then there's these which are kind of I don't know, sort of a neutrally, maybe got a slightly pinky coppery feel to them. So I'm just going to use one of the clear ones, just attach it to the corner there, and there we're done. So that is using the brand new blending brushes to create the embossed, so the Emboss Resist technique. And if you follow the link beneath my video, it'll take you to my blog, where I will have listed the dimensions for this for the various layers, and also links to my online store. I will be doing some more videos sharing these wonderful new brushes, so just look out for those. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll get notified when new videos come available. And if you give me a thumbs up, I'd truly appreciate it. Well, thanks for joining me today. Bye for now.